Everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. If you want to get your money's worth, stay right here because you're listening to Knockouts and Three Counts. Remember, everybody's got a price.
This is Don West here, and I'm telling you, Knockouts and Three Counts is the podcast, baby. Make sure that's the one you check out, because, buddy, like me, they're the real deal, baby. All right, guys. Let me know what you know. The guy who went down the road.
Jake the Snake Roberts, just letting you know, you need to listen to Knockouts and Three Counts, or you see that damn snake again.
This is the Ring of Honor World Television Champion, a.k.a. Shane Teeble, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy. And you're listening to Knockouts and Three Counts.
What up, everybody? This is Kyle, and you are back watching Knockouts and Three Counts. And as we told you, we've got an action-packed episode for you guys tonight. We're talking all things Indie Wrestling Expo, which is going down this Friday and Saturday in Texas. Richmond, is it Richmond Hills, Texas?
Richland Hills.
Richland. I was close enough, but Richland Hills, man, that you've got everybody you could want to see. Anybody that's not under a WWE contract, man, you've got AEW, you've got Impact, and you've got our guest tonight, the return of Sam Adonis. How you doing, brother, man?
I'm hanging in there, my man, getting all excited and amped up for this coming Friday and Saturday in Richland Hills, Texas, the Pro Wrestling Expo. I'm going to be there, and I have a big match against Brian Cage. So I'm really excited for this one. That's been a match I've been waiting for a couple years now. I've actually been training a lot, just getting back in ring shape because of all that time off. So it's going to be a really cool weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
So tell me a little bit about that. So last we talked, you were telling us about the Amazon thing, which is why things were switched up a little bit. You got to go and sling some packages. So what is that like for you? You got to go make the run to Texas. So what's your work week going to look like this week, bro?
It's pretty intense. I get up every morning at about 4:45 and start delivering packages till about 4 p.m. And then I have to fit in my normal routine of the week, which is gym. And I've been putting some wrestling training in there. And now that the independents are finally picking back up, now I have to balance that, which is, it's what we do. It's what we like to do. It's a good problem to have because being busy means you're doing something right. But right now we're still kind of in the middle because it's not busy enough for me to, be full time once again. But at the same time, it's getting in the way of my other gig. So it'll be a long week. I'll be tired. I have a day off and I get up and fly to Texas and wrestle 3 matches in 2 days, fly home on Sunday afternoon and have to be back up at 5 a.m. on Monday.
So tell me about that. How is Amazon with getting days off? Because let me tell you, USPS, I don't give a fuck if you hear this. Your supervisors are not accommodating, but I digress. How is it for you trying to get your stuff in with the wrestling bookings right now, being that Amazon's got to be jumping just like we are?
It's pretty cool. It's not so bad because we work 4-day work weeks. We have 4 days on, 3 days off, and there's just so much work, so many volumes of work. You can just kind of stagger your shift as long as you're not taking advantage of it, which I haven't had to yet. But luckily, my boss is a really big wrestling fan, and he's doing what he can to help me out right now.
Okay, so tell me about that. How much browning points has you been wrestling scored you at the job, bro?
Hey, it's only recently. The new manager's the one that is a big fan. I came back to the station one day, and he came up to me kind of in one of those, hey, I need to talk to you. Oh, God, what'd I do? Did I hit a child or what?
Hit a child?
he says, so I hear you're a wrestler. And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing it. And, I knew a wrestler here back in there or whatever. Next thing you know, he Googled me and he's like, oh, wow, you're actually a really high level wrestler. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm only here because I got to be, so he's really cool and he's been helping me out.
Hey, man, so let's get into the real business at hand. Obviously, this isn't the first show that you've gotten to do since COVID, as we could talk about. Corey was playing Call of Duty with me, and I was telling him about the pictures. I was like, man, he just sent me this stuff thinking it was your brother. So tell me about Warrior Wrestling, bro. I saw the pictures you sent me, man. It looked like a dope-ass setup. What was that like with that kind of a setup? Did it make it harder to work, or what'd you think?
Honestly, I think it was one of the best outdoor shows I've ever worked. A lot of times you have a problem doing these outdoor shows because a lot of times if it's in a football or baseball stadium, they have the fans segregated to one section. So there might be 1,500 people or 2,000 people, but they're always on one side of the ring. And it kind of, takes away some of the overall ambience of the arena. This show was so spread out, and they had 500 people evenly spaced around the entire football field, people on both sets of bleachers. Honestly, yes, they weren't as packed in together, but the whole match, we felt like we were, in the center of an arena, and it felt really good to be home, if you will. Just be in front of that many people in live attendance once again.
It looked really cool, man, because I am so upset that I'm not going to make the trip to Texas. I was trying to get Devin there. I'm like, bro, it's right in your backyard. Like, please go to the show, go check the shit out. He's like, man, they got me working 16 hours that day or I would be there. So, I mean, I tried to get Devin there. I would be there if it weren't for responsibilities and being an adult and all that.
Sure.
But dude, that looks pretty cool. So what are your thoughts on this being like the first expo I've heard of or seen since the whole COVID thing? It's going to be a lot of people all together.
Well, I really hope everything goes off as planned. That's really my main concern. I don't want any hiccups along the way. I think most fans are ready for it. I mean, fans are just ready to be back in that environment. We've all have to stay, socially responsible and make sure we have our masks and don't go around. You can't get too close to people. We want to make sure we have a safe environment for everyone so these can keep moving forward. I think if people can come to this and feel, safe and feel like it's something they're willing to do, that'll probably be some steps in the right direction to getting back to where we were. So I just hope everything comes off as planned. I mean, it's 2 nights. There's countless games, activities, costume contests, so much going on in this one that, it almost kind of has the same vibe as maybe one of those, star casts or big event or whatever, kind of has that same feel to it. And I mean, like you said, the show is just packed and stacked. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
Well, let's talk about it. So night 1, you're a part of Team Hammerstone. All right. First of all, what are your thoughts on being a part of Team Hammerstone? Because, I mean, I've never met the guy. Would love to have him on the show. But, I mean, hey, the guy's a little full of himself. We all know that you don't have confidence issues. So how do you think that coexists in a big-ass tag match like that?
Well, I don't know how it's going to unfold on the Friday, but he's one of those guys that I've always got along with really well. I've never wrestled him, but I've been on a bunch of shows with him. There's a certain thing, like a lot of times when you get to a certain level as a performer or as a traveler, you kind of tend to relate to some of the guys that are doing the same things that you're doing. So, I've met him on multiple occasions, and we've always, we're able to relate, so we get along. So I'm glad to be on his team. It'll be fun. It's cool because there's 10 big guys. I think the shortest guy in the match might be 6'2". So it'll be cool.
Who's all rounding out your guys' squad?
Oh, I don't even know half the guys, but I know they're big. I know Jacob Fatu's in it, Rodney Mack, a buddy of mine named Gallo from Arizona. There's a bunch of them. I think this is another event that's going to give a lot of opportunities to see younger guys trying to prove themselves. But the Saturday night seems to be a precursor for Friday night's a precursor for my Saturday, because Saturday I have 2 singles matches, one against Chandler Hopkins in the afternoon, and then the big one on Saturday night, myself against the Machine Brian Cage.
So before we get to that, something I noticed in looking at this, again, as you mentioned before we went on the air, this is probably the 3rd time you've been on the show. We've gotten to know each other pretty well. And in that time, I've never known Mr. Adonis to be a guy who brings himself any backup, really. I see you got a manager with you for this one. So what the fuck? What's up with that?
Honestly, I actually have him on most of my events that I do on the West Coast and in the Southwest. Believe it or not, he is 100% my real life West Coast booking manager. MK Bandit, and that's not a joke. That's not a stretch. He books my shows. He's a talent agent for me. So a lot of what I do in the Southwest is going through him, and it's awesome. People will contact him and say, hey, how do we get Sam on? I said, okay, well, we'll be there. And he hooks up the deal. He gets the negotiations sorted out. He sends me my flights, and So he's legitimately one of my best friends on the planet, takes care of me, gets me a lot of work, and we'll be together on this show. So even though you haven't seen it, doesn't mean I don't have my backup when I need it every now and again.
I see you. You got your own Paul Ellering. I got you. I don't know if he's the stocks and shit, but I mean, hey, clearly he's getting you the deals done, so he's doing
exactly.
Something.
How many other American independent guys have their own Paul Ellering? That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man, I'm not mad at it. If he can do half for you what Paul Ellering did for the Road Warriors, we're in fucking business.
There we go, man. No, it's going to be cool. He's fantastic at what he does, too. He's just like me. We love to rile up the audience, get people all crazy, and, we have some good chemistry. So I think, if anything, there's so many eyes on this show. Hopefully it gets him, out there and seen by a lot more people as well.
Well, let's talk about the match that if people already don't know you, which I don't know how they don't, but if they don't, this Brian Cage match might do very much of the same thing for you. So let's talk a little bit about that. So obviously, dude has been on a run in AEW. He's the FTW champ right now. He's got his whole deal going with Taz and Ricky Starks and all them. So first of all, I know this is a match you and I have talked about in person that you've wanted for a while. So what are your thoughts on the matchup, and how do you see this match playing out?
I think it's just going to be awesome. That's all I can say. Brian's another one of those guys that I've been around for the last 4 years. I've been on the same shows as him. It's that same thing about having a mutual respect for somebody that's, doing what you're doing. So it's something that I've always wanted to happen. For a while, there was a bit of tension between us because, my gimmick in Mexico with the Donald Trump supporter, and he did something similar in AAA. So, the fans were winding up saying, I stole his gimmick, he stole my gimmick, and everything in between. So it was one of those things, it made me curious. But at the same time, Brian Cage is about 250 pounds of solid muscle. I'm 6'4", 240 myself. I think what to expect is just a heavyweight encounter. Get two big boys up there kicking the shit out of each other. He's all over the place. He has a lot of eyes on him right now. The way I see it is an opportunity for me to show a lot of the people in the American audience that don't know who I am, who I am and what I'm all about.
Look, man, might I suggest? I mean, again, we're homies and all. I told you, a good kick in the dick when well placed. He might be a machine, but I mean, hey, if there's gonna cause a chink in the armor, just saying.
Well, that's it. Trust me, I got secrets up my sleeve, so
I know you do.
Coming to Texas well prepared.
I was just trying to look out for the homie,
I appreciate that.
But hell yeah, man. But we're looking forward to it this weekend, man. You're gonna do your thing against Brian Cage, and I know we were talking about linking up for WrestleRex in Philly, man. I don't know,
Pittsburgh.
Why did I say Philly? Jesus Christ.
That's all right.
Pittsburgh. Anyway, we were talking about WrestleRex in Pittsburgh. Do you think now that we're starting to see some of these shows, do you think that opens up the door for that too?
We're getting there. Pittsburgh's a little bit slower. Pennsylvania itself's a little bit slower than the rest of the country, just, being precautionary. I'm ready for it to come back. I'm ready to start promoting and put these shows together. The fans are ready. The city's ready. So as soon as we get the green light from the state, they will be back. Just right now, I'm lucky. I'm blessed to have as many bookings that I do across the country. This week I'm in Dallas, Texas. The following week I'm at a show in Pennsylvania. Then I have Chicago, I have Salt Lake City, and then back in Texas. So it's pretty good fall coming up, considering there's not many shows. So all things considered, I'm just happy to be here, happy to have the support of the people I do, and I can't wait to keep traveling again and see everybody.
Well, you already know you got us in your corner. Like I said, if WrestleRex comes back, let me know a little bit ahead of time, and hey, I'll make my way out to Pittsburgh. But let everybody know again where they can find you this Friday and Saturday in Texas, Independent Wrestling Expo, all that good stuff, and what you've got cooking.
This Friday and Saturday, Richland Hills, Texas, right outside of Dallas. Anybody that's listening, anybody from that area, please come check it out. Come say hello. Tell me that you watched this. I can get along with the devil. So, make a conversation, and trust me, I think we can talk about anything. People can continue to find me and all my dates on my social media. My Twitter and Instagram are both Real Sam Adonis. They have all my upcoming events, all my shows, and yeah, it's just a good way to stay in contact. And I have a really good feeling that my best years are yet to come. Everything's been going really good, and I just think I'll be quite busy coming up. So hopefully, I get to meet a bunch of the fans and just do what we do and bring pro wrestling back to the masses.
Hey, brother, I'm with you with it. And like always, man, we appreciate having you on the show. And like I said, if Russell Rex comes back, hit your boy up a little bit ahead of time. You know how them post office and Amazon shit works. Give me a little heads up, and I'll be out in Pittsburgh.
Sounds good, my brother. We will make it happen. And thank you, everybody, for listening.
Hey, man, we appreciate you.
Yep.
Cool. Well, everybody, that's it, man. We had Sam Adonis with us. And as we mentioned, Miranda Gordy will be in with us here shortly. Corey, so this was your first go-around with Mr. Sam Adonis. What do you think?
Pretty personal guy. He like you guys were chatting about. He seems pretty excited about his upcoming match. That's for sure.
Well, dude, I mean,
it's a big opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, going against the Machine Brian Cage, dude, is going to be insane.
Especially like he was saying, with the world finally opening back up, this is one of the first bigger shows that there really is out there. So.
Right, man. And I mean, like I said, it's going to be the first big fan expo. Like he said, it's kind of like along the lines of a StarCast deal. We've worked a couple of those, but never under circumstances where there was a COVID thing, So, I mean, we'll see what happens. For those of you tuning in to catch the beauty of Badge Street, the queen of Badge Street, Miranda Gordy, she will be in here with us shortly. Corey, we had some great fights last weekend as well, man. Let's talk briefly about Frankie Edgar and his fight while we wait for Ms. Gordy to join us.
Well, real quick, everybody who's watching this, if you watch the fights, please go back and comment below who you scored the fight for, if you were paying enough attention to actually score it. Because I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on who
joined us,
won it.
Yeah, let us know in the comments who it is that you think, who it is that who it is that you guys had in it. Without any further ado, like I said, we had more than one guest tonight. We've got the queen of Badge Street, Miss Miranda Gordy. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Can't complain. Just got off with Mr. Sam Adonis talking a little bit about this Independent Wrestling Expo. And can I just say from Jump Street, I'm so fucking mad that I'm not going to be there. Because for those of you who didn't catch the first 15 minutes with Sam, he's doing Amazon, so he feels my pain with the post office right now. I would be there otherwise. I want to see you and Jordan Grace tangled up. But before we get to that, let them know where they can find you at.
I'm on all social media. You can find me Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all under Miranda Gordy. You just search Miranda Gordy, even Pro Wrestling Tees. You just search my name and you can find me.
So I got to tell you, so in my journalistic research or whatever the fuck you want to call it, I was looking at your interview that you did with Wrestling Travel, man. So that shirt that you got out for your dad, the Guy Jin shirt, first of all, that shit is dope. So tell me about your merch, because for somebody who's been in the game for only a year, you've got quite the lineup already.
I know. I've had merch since the beginning, but like I said, Pro Wrestling Tees, all the T-shirts that I have out. There's a couple of Terry Gordy shirts, and of course some of my merch on there. But the Gaijin Worldwide, that's actually through their website. It's for a limited time. I think there's one more week left. They asked if we could collab, and I was like, absolutely. I love your product, and they happen to be a fan of my dad's, and so we're doing a special just for like the rest of this week so that you can get a Terry Gordy shirt. And
where can they get it at? What's the website?
GaijinWorldwide.com, I believe.
Hey, I like it. I've already got myself one coming.
Nice.
So I was trying to school Corey up. So our show also covers MMA and all that stuff. Corey's been kind of filling in with me during the whole quarantine deal and all that kind of stuff. And he's more of the MMA ilk. So I sent him some stuff of not only yours, but of your dad's to kind of get an idea of what was going on. So one of the questions I got for you is, obviously, for those who don't know, I mean, you're a third generation, if I'm not mistaken. Is it third generation, fourth generation?
Just a second generation.
I got it mixed up. Second generation. But I know your brother was in the business as well as your dad. So tell me, I listened to what you were saying about why you wanted to get in the business, but I mean, obviously it was something that you grew up with, but what was it that really made that change that made you want to get in the wrestling business?
Really, it started with one of the promoters. They kept asking me like, hey, come to the show. Finally, they were like, the Von Erichs are going to come to the show. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll get out of the house. I'll come see them. And, it'll be fun. It'll be something to do. And I enjoyed myself. And I'm like, okay, sure. I'll get out and I'll start going to more and more. And then I became a manager to one of my friends. And they gave me a spot where I got to punch somebody. And I'm like, I want to do this all the time. Like it was, in front of a crowd, and the crowd got a big pop. And so like I instantly fell in love with it just because I guess the rush. And so I started training from there.
So obviously, you've only been in the game for about a year from what I've seen. So you haven't been in the game that long, but I mean, from what I see, you're already racking up some titles. From what I see, you just got the SW Fury title.
Yes.
You're going to be facing Jordan Grace here at the Independent Wrestling Expo. She's a former Impact champ. I mean, for somebody who's been in the game a year, you're over here trying to make some waves and shit. So tell me a little bit about that. I mean, you've been in the game a year, but I mean, it's not the first time I've heard your name around, which is why when Kyle, who hooked up this interview, set this up, I was like, I feel like Miranda would be the one that would be cool to do this with. So tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, I've been very blessed. It started with good trainers. And then, obviously my name, my dad built a legacy, and that has gotten me in the door. And then my training, my attitude, the way I present myself and my work are what continue to get me bookings in all these cool places, like against Jordan Grace. I think I could honestly say that if I wasn't good at what I do, I wouldn't have the match. So, or have the title, when you get a title for a company, you're representing that company. So obviously all those companies think that I am good enough to represent them. So that's how I feel about it.
So to go with that, one thing that really intrigues me with this match with you and Jordan Grace is you and Jordan Grace both have, that real strong power build, which to me, I feel like is so underrated in women's wrestling today. And it goes into something that Corey had wanted to ask too. So before I let Corey hit you with what he's got, because it'll go right off it, what's your response to those who keep saying, well, oh, they look manly because, you could be strong, or because you don't look like the cookie cutter, model type all the time? Like, to me, I feel like having different representations, whether it's men's wrestling, female wrestling, how can everybody connect to wrestling if everybody looks the same? So what's your thought on that? Because I know you've had to hear it before.
No one would ever say it to my face.
Not say it to me.
Of course. Say about it. They would never say it to my face, and that's really all I gotta say, because you can say whatever you want behind a keyboard or to your friends. You wouldn't say it to mine or Jordan Grace's or any of the bigger girls' faces. Right. And that's all you gotta say. You can be a coward and talk crap, but whatever. Like, good. I hope I look strong. I hope I look mean. Leave me alone. Okay, so
that's what the fuck I'm talking about. All right, Corey. Well, I teed it up. Let yours go, man. You had one ready to go.
Well, I had one actually that kind of sprung back to what we were initially talking about, but you kind of covered it with what you were saying earlier, with the fact of like you came in this as a generational talent, like Kyle was saying. Was you turned that motivation though into something for yourself? And like you were saying, they don't necessarily just give out titles, so it's obviously your own work and ambition that's getting you to this point. How much further do you see that taking you, and how much do you plan on putting into this? Is this your full-time gig? I mean, obviously you're filling in at a huge spot right now with everything just now opening back up with COVID and everything. This is a big opportunity.
It is. And I do, like, right now, this is what I do. This would be my full-time job. This is my focus right now, obviously in the gym all the time, constantly training. My boyfriend, I live with him. He has a ring. Like, you walk out of my bedroom, there's a wrestling ring. So, wrestling is my life right now. And I hope to go to the top. I think that at some point I will have a tryout, hopefully soon, for WWE. If not, I'll shoot for AEW, maybe Impact, or another one of the you never know right now. There could be another company pop up in the meantime, but I'm going for the top. So it's just my life right now.
Yeah. And when do you expect to see more of the bigger shows kind of opening up? I know a lot of them are doing kind of smaller gigs and stuff, but when do you expect to kind of see them maybe move further down south where you see a lot of the states more open to allowing events opening up?
I think soon. I think we're getting into fall, and we're going back into the country goes back to school and everybody gets back to their job. They were off all summer, and unfortunately we had a pandemic. But I think the further we get into the fall and stuff, I think that shows will start opening back up, because first off, people don't like to be locked inside,
Oh,
but
God, no.
but we can't just let the economy crash. We can't just stay inside forever. Everybody has to go out and live their life, because life is short. So and you got to have fun while you can, and still have an income and still do all that. So I actually think that things like ROH and AEW are slowly getting like a half capacity or quarter capacity right now, from what I've heard.
I thought I read that their AEW is going to be doing for their taping this week. I read they said it's going to be like 10% capacity, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So slowly they're going to, trickle in fans, and they'll probably have tons of safety precautions, just like we're doing for the expo. They're taking a lot of precautions, the mask and the sanitization, and, making sure everybody's got their COVID tests and stuff like that. And I feel like those bigger live events are going to do the same thing until we can resume back to normal. We might not ever leave the whole mask thing, which is fine. Other countries have been doing that for like at least a decade, like Japan and stuff. They just automatically do it. So if we don't get away from that, it's fine, but at least we get to go back to resuming life as normal.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. I mean, if that's what it takes as a mask, it's a mask.
It's just a mask,
We can get back to the world being open if that's all it really takes.
People are tripping. Like I said, I work at the post office, so it's like every day, man. Why do I gotta wear a mask? Well, it ain't my choice, bro. Like, I don't have a damn thing to do with it. Like, I don't like it either. At least on the upside, they've gotten creative. So I've been switching it out between the Pentagon and Phoenix masks, and I get about 20 people a day. Where's your mask from? So,
yeah, there's so many opportunities. Like, I've had, people ask for the Bad Street mask. Like, I think it's great opportunities. If you have a lucha mask and it covers your mouth, there you go. You get to wear your lucha mask all the time.
Perfect segue. See, yeah. you've already got the mind for it. See, we've got new shirts that are going to get the orders going in Thursday. So if you guys are looking for them, stay tuned to our website. We're going to have them come, and maybe I'll get you one out as well too, Miranda, once we get them out.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to try to do that with the mask too. My buddy was like, bro, why don't you just put it like flat square in the thing? Like, just put the knockouts and 3 counts thing. I'm like, dude, that would be like stupid easy too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, hey, it is what it is. So you brought up Japan though. So that brings up a few questions for me. First of all, with you going over to Japan and having your first experience over there, with your dad having the name that he did over there in Japan, and just the legacy that Japan has for being, like they always talk about, strong style. It's a different style wrestling than what you see. It's a different style wrestling fan than what you see. So with your dad's reputation preceding you, and as well as your brother, doing his thing with WWE, did that bring any extra pressure for you as you went to Japan? And what were your thoughts of the overall experience with that working there versus here in America?
So when I went over there, like immediately, just because of everybody knows my dad and my brother, just the legacy. I was already greeted with such respect. And so, I was met at the airport by a fan, like a sponsor, and every day, like I had someone else take me somewhere awesome. So, I mean, obviously with my work, but with what my dad created over there, they had so much respect for him that they just immediately put it onto me. So it was a really, really awesome experience. And I can't wait to go back. I could talk about it all night, the fans are different, like in the sense that, they greeted me with gifts and they were just in awe. Like I was treated like a queen, cause we're larger than life over there,
right.
And
they still see it for what it is.
Yeah. And they just wanted to hang out. Like it was like the coolest thing for them to hang out with me, and they just wanted to spend time and be in my presence. And I'm like, I'm just cool with hanging out with you guys. Like I'm in another country, so I'm just cool. Like, so it was a lot of fun, and I hope to go back really soon. I think that would be a big goal. If I don't make it to a major promotion, I would absolutely take Japan. I'd make all the 13-hour flights back and forth for Japan. It was just that awesome.
So I heard you say in the interview that you did with Wrestle Travel that a lot of the stuff you watch as far as film and things like that for wrestling is your dad's stuff. So my question with that is, are you more of a fan of the Freebird stuff, or do you like more of the deathmatch stuff? Because Corey didn't know what I meant when I said deathmatch stuff. So I sent Corey a link to your dad versus Cactus Jack over there in Japan.
That was one of the later Japan matches. I actually last May had the opportunity to talk with Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, about it, and he had nothing but respect for my dad. And it was really cool, and it touched my heart to be able to talk to him about that match. And so, because it's just a pretty good match. But I will have to say, as far as Freebirds and like my dad in Japan, I am more of a fan of the Japanese stuff, the All Japan, because that's just what I grew up with. I was born in '89, so at the time my dad was going to Japan like every 3 months or so, and he would stay over there. And so I grew up with the Stan Hansens and the Dr. Deaths and the Giant Babas, and people from Japan coming in my house, and I just think it's normal. We're getting our pictures taken and put in Japanese magazines as kids, and that's just what I grew up with. So I think that's kind of what I tend to lead towards. Of course, I love Michael, I love Buddy, and I'm actually close with Michael, but I grew up with All Japan.
So that leads right into another question I had for you. You mentioned that you wanted to get a tryout soon with WWE and all that kind of stuff. So how instrumental has Michael really been with what you've been doing since you started wrestling, since you're still new to the game? Is he kind of giving it a wait and see approach, or is it kind of like, oh shit, it's another Freebird and he's all over it?
I think secretly he's excited. He's not come out. No, I'll call him up every once in a while and I'll be like, what would you do about this? Like, I remember when I first started matches, I had my first match and I called and I'm like, what do I do now? And he gave me advice. Of course, the advice was go out and learn to work, and so that's what I did. I just took off taking matches, and some sucked. A lot of them sucked. And I just got better. It was a learning experience, and that's been, the biggest learning experience actually. So, I talk to him maybe once a week, every other week or so, and I'll just be like, what would you do about this? What do you think about, this? And so he's given me a lot of good advice, and I think he hopes to see me in a big company as well.
I mean, I would say that that's a good bet, but I had to know how much he had to do with it because, I mean, Corey, I know you're not the biggest wrestling guy, but I'm telling you, dude, you need to go down the wormhole. You need to check out some Freebirds versus Von Erich shit. And you want to talk about a crowd getting hot. Like, I was just talking to him before we went on because we had Sam Adonis on with us. Now, the last time Sam was here in Detroit, he told me before the show, he goes, yeah, shit's going to get a little fucking rowdy. Next thing you know, dude, he had motherfuckers throwing beer from the Raptors and everything. So you want to talk about heat. You watch Freebirds versus Von Erichs, you'll see plenty, dude. Because I would say Brandon would agree when I say that there were a lot of times that Terry and them were lucky they made it back to the fucking curtain.
Oh, absolutely. Like my whole life, I've heard stories of people literally bringing guns to shows. Like so much heat. They have made people hate them so bad that they literally wanted to kill them. You know, and that's heat. And unfortunately, no one gets that heat now. You kind of, everybody's got to be PC and all that, which is fine. But back then, though,
they didn't give a shit, bro.
They didn't give a shit. It was a different time, and they wanted it, though. That's what sold tickets is, you know, you had your babyface Von Erichs. Everyone loves the Von Erichs, but they buy tickets to watch the Von Erichs beat up the Freebirds.
Right.
That's what sold the tickets is you hated that person. I'm buying this ticket so I can see them beat up this guy that I hate, you know? So that's how you get heat. That's what heat is.
Yeah, Corey, I try to tell you because I know you don't watch it like I do. So full disclosure, if you can't tell from what's behind me, I mean, most of that stuff's from our interviews at this point. But I've been watching this shit since I was a kid. And then as I got older, I fell into the 80s shit as obviously I was not born for that either. So I didn't get to see a ton of it. But, man, when I went back and looked, dude, like, Corey, I try to tell you, like, I've told Corey, like, man, the crowds, man, it ain't like how it is now. Like, I've been at shows where shit got hot. So, yeah, like I said, one of these days, man, we're going to have you check that out. But let's talk about something a little bit away from wrestling for a second before we get into what you've got this weekend at the Independent Wrestling Expo, because you're going to be pretty fucking busy.
Oh, yeah.
When you're not wrestling, what is the Queen of Bad Street do in her good time? Like, what do you like to do for a good time here? Like, you know, I know you can't be, you know, beating faces in, as it says on your Twitter, and you ain't in the ring all day. So what the fuck are you doing for a good time? Because, I mean, your dad liked to party. Does it run in the family?
I like to party. That's fine. I like to drink every once in a while. I actually, I'm in a winery right now. So.
Okay, perfect segue.
So, I just, as of lately with the pandemic, I've been focusing on like, and this is so Bad Street, my garden. I have a horse. I ride my horse and stuff. Pretty chill. You know, I haven't been able to go out and do stuff, but yeah, for a good time, I'll go out to, you know, a bar or a club or something and just walk around. Like, I love to travel. So that's part of the wrestling stuff is I get to go see a new place. If I'm in a new city that I just wrestled in, I'll absolutely check out the scenery. So I guess that's what I do for fun.
Have you made your way to Detroit yet?
You know, I have not got a chance to really check out Detroit. I've passed through there about 10 years ago, but I've never really been in the heart of it. I passed through, I kept driving, but
yeah, 10 years ago, I don't blame you. It's on the upswing now, but 10 years ago, it's a pass through town, that's for sure.
Well, whenever you make your way to Detroit, you'll definitely have to give me a ring. We'll have to get a drink or something.
Absolutely.
You're allowed to do that shit.
Right. I'll bring a mask. We'll take a shot. The shot will kill it, right? The shot of Jack will kill it.
See, now we're talking here. We'll get you a little bit of tequila, get you something. We'll be looking all right. It'll be all good. But, So like I said, our show also covers MMA. Do you mess with MMA at all? Do you watch it? And if so, who are some of your favorites?
I don't really watch it, to be honest. I've seen some stuff, like when Ronda Rousey was big. Like, I'm like, heck yeah, do it for the ladies. You know, I had her back for the most part. Her matches didn't last long, so I saw all 15 seconds of them, you know, every time. She always won with an armbar. But it's been at least a year or two since I've actually watched a match, you know, on UFC or anything, so.
That's fair. I had to ask, though, because, I mean, you see so many people, you know, jumping from MMA to wrestling and wrestling to MMA now. I mean, like I said, our show covers wrestling and MMA because, obviously, I started as a wrestling fan. I started fighting when I was 13, though. So, I mean, that's where the kind of the parallel comes with it. But my question for you is, we talked about what you like to do, outside of here and all that good stuff. Obviously shows are starting to open up a little bit more and things like that. How do you feel now that you're getting into wrestling at the time you are, though? Because I feel like we're at a time now where women are at a spot where we've never seen. Like I mentioned, before you used to see, the model, I don't even know what to call it, the model type. But now you've got every different kind of woman you could want, and women are getting actual time to wrestle places, like getting legit, 20, 30 minutes. Like for somebody like you who, your dad, the Freebirds and the Von Erichs have beat the shit out of each other for like 20 and 30 minutes at a time. So for you now getting into wrestling and getting your chance here on a bigger show and against a big opponent like Jordan and Grace, I mean, how does it feel now that you know that you're actually going to be able to get a legitimate, time in the ring,
I think that now is the best time for me to get into wrestling. We have the women's evolution going on, which I love. Women are, and there's nothing wrong with it, but women were seen as like the divas of, the TNA stuff. Like, it was all model looking ladies, right. And, not that I'm not attractive, I'm just not that type, So I think now women are more seen somewhat like the men. They're seen as athletes. They're seen as butt kickers. They're seen as aggressive, and that's okay now. Not just flaunting everything around. They're actually like, that girl might legitimately kick my butt, and I love it. So I think now's a good time. I'm super excited for the match with Jordan Grace because she also looks like a butt kicker. She's got the muscle, she's got the big arms and stuff, and so she looks like she might whoop up on some people. So I think it's a good matchup for her, and people have been telling me, left and right, this is a dream match. Like two bigger girls, two girls with the muscles and stuff like that, like going at it. So I'm excited for it.
All right. So how do you see this match going then?
I'm gonna give Jordan Grace a run for her money, that's for sure.
You ain't gotta be modest. You can say you're gonna get a W. I didn't expect you to say, well, she's really good and I'm gonna give her the good old college try, but she might get me. Because even if I thought I was gonna lose in a boxing ring, I ain't never gonna tell another motherfucker that. So.
Right, okay, all right. I'm trying to be fair, but I'm not saying I'm gonna win, but I'm gonna win. So,
hey, I mean, it's a huge match for you, though. I mean, that's a hell of a person for you to lock it up with here. I mean, and I'm pretty sure, it's going to give you, this is going to be good exposure, too. This will put you in front of Impact and everywhere else. So, you're talking about, getting tryouts with WWE and everywhere else. Hell, if you go in there and beat a former Impact champ, doesn't take a brain surgeon.
That's true. Of course, the exposure, I took the match before I knew who I was against because I'm always ready to kick some butt. But it's really awesome that it's Jordan Grace because it does. She has a really large following. And so, when I win, people will see that I beat her. So I think it's great. And, the same goes for her. I'm catching up on the following. So people at one point, even if they don't get to catch it now, will probably look back and be like, I like these two females. I want to see this matchup. So it'll be in the history books, if they ever want to see it.
Well, obviously I kind of skipped the chronological order, but hey, I've been throwing the mail all day, so give me a fucking break. Anyways, on night one, before we ever get to Jordan Grace, you've got a triple threat elimination match. So tell me about that. That's a lot of shit going on at one time.
I know. My triple threat is with Killa Kate, who I actually just beat on Friday at Texoma Pro. That was a title match. I defended my title.
Pro champ, right?
I am, and she's trying to take my title. Yeah, and I beat her, and also Erica Torres. I know Erica. We've been on shows together, but I've never actually had a match with her. So I think she's a former NWA women's champion. She's been doing this for a minute. She's going to be a great competitor, but I think I got size and strength So I also will give them a run for their money. I think I got that in the bag.
All right. So you're the perfect person for me to ask this to, because we have this segment on the show. It kind of goes one of two ways. You know, we kind of flip it depending on whether it's an MMA person or wrestling person. So it goes this way. That's a two-part question. One, are you a person when it comes to show day and things like that? Like, what kind of mindset do you got to be in? Are you, you know, fun, happy-go-lucky, kick it, or are you all business day of?
Oh, I'm all business. I'm like, you know, I get in butt kicking mode. I'm like ass kicking mode. You keep cussing. I'm like, I'm gonna be good. I get in ass kicking mode. I listen, you know, to some music, whatever I'm feeling. If I'm feeling
What are
a
you
little
listening
gangsta, it just depends. If I feel a little gangster that day, I might put on some rap. If I feel like I'm pissed today, I'll put on some like metal or something. You know, just whatever I'm feeling at the moment, and I just roll with it. And I keep that mindset from the time I wake up, hit the gym, get a little pumped, drink my pre-workout, and go kick some butt at the show.
All right. So, second part of the said question. Now, just so you know, I didn't fucking put this on so that you only had to be the one to answer it. Sam has already answered this question. So have the likes of Josh Briggs and Congo Khan and Booker T and other names. So we call this segment locker room etiquette. So do you got anything? Are there any pet peeves that you've got, whether it be with fans or whether that be in the locker room? And what I mean by this, we've had everything from, you know, fans not knowing personal space or not knowing what a deodorant stick is, or on the other end of the question, we've had everything from wash your balls to keep your baby mama out the locker room. We've had all kinds of them. So let's get the female perspective on this one. Are there any pet peeves as far as the locker room? And is there anything that fans do at shows that just gives you the fucking creeps?
Well, all of those are really good things to remember. Yes, wash yourself, wash your gear. I think really all around, to sum it up, just be respectful in all senses, like, you know, wearing deodorant, don't have a bad attitude. You know, everybody's in this together. Like, we all have to sit there. We all have to, like, work with each other. You don't want to cause heat with someone you're about to go out with, or just don't cause unnecessary drama. It all goes with respecting other people and the boundaries. Like, don't hit on women in the locker room. You know, stuff like that. It's all about respect. I think that that's the biggest thing. Respect your ref, because they can, you know, make or break the match. They make the calls. Respect the person you're working with. Respect the other people, whether you work with them or not. So respect their space. Respect their stuff. Don't steal stuff. Don't leave a mess. Respect the people that have to clean up after you. You know, just respect. Yeah. So the fans, I'm not really bothered. I know a lot of ladies are. I guess I'm not bothered because I don't let that happen to me. I don't know how to put it nicely. Like, if someone gets too close, I step back. I don't know if that's like common sense, or
you would think it would be.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be mean about it. I just feel like if a dude got a little too fresh or made me uncomfortable, I know at some point I might have to punch this motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? So I mean, that's all. That's just step away. Like, nothing. If they try to put their arm around you, you don't like it. You're a trained wrestler. Absolutely. Pull a move on them. Like, do something. Like, twist their wrist. You can do that. I'm sure you're going to do it in your match. Hurt that much, you know, be in a respectful way. Hurt them in a respectful way.
And I didn't. And so those of you who might be new to the show, that segment is not made to bash the fans.
Right.
Full disclosure here. The reason why that segment was created. Obviously, Devin and those of you who have been watching for the show know that I've been running solo and Corey's been filling in. But the reason why that segment was created was because we would go to these shows to do these interviews, man. And I would just look and it would be like, the more we got to know people, the more we were out here doing these shows, and you would just see people just do shit, and you'd be like, come on, bro. Like, see, and it's the people where you'd be like, it's motherfuckers like you are why wrestling fans are looked at the way they are, because you can't just be cool about it. You got to make it weird, bro. And I've had some pretty fun encounters with that. So I figured who better to have encounters with that sort of thing? You know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I know we just had like the speak out stuff and the Me Too movements and all that, and it came into wrestling, and I think it came into different, like a lot of different jobs and careers and stuff like that, and people did a big clean out. It's not something that, not that it didn't affect me, but that I wasn't concerned with, because like I said, I'll absolutely put a move on someone that crosses me. So, because I mean, I'm a trained professional wrestler. I'll act accordingly, you know? So, I don't know. That's just me, though.
Hey, I love it, because I figured, I knew, just from talking to you, I knew you were going to have a good answer with that, because Devin likes to say that I am overly too hot-headed, because for those of you who will be watching this on YouTube, check out the link right there with past guests of the show, Miles Jury. At Miles' last after party, let's just say I saw two groups of people walking towards each other. Miles happened to be in the middle of it, and my first instinct was, oh shit, that's a lot of people. It was, oh shit, I'm going that way. And I remember Devin picking me up, and I'm like, yo, like, this is insane. So, like I said, it can pop off real quick. But that's not why we were here. Like I said, one more time, let people know where they can find you at. Again, I'm fucking bummed that I'm not going to be there, but let them know where they can find you at, and check out that triple threat along with your great match with Jordan Grace.
I am on Twitter as Miranda Gordy. I'm on Instagram as Miranda Gordy. I'm on Facebook as Miranda Gordy. Pro Wrestling Tees Miranda Gordy. You can actually also watch me on SWE Fight TV, and I also believe that they will be airing the Expo, certain parts of the Expo on Fight TV as well.
Was going to ask about that if I could see it, because I'm so bummed, man. I want to be there, but fucking Rona. Well, like I said, I enjoyed it. Like I said, when we get these shirts out, I'll definitely send you one. And like I said, man, we appreciate your time, and we definitely got to have you back, because like I said, I had a good time tonight. Hopefully you did as well. And make sure you follow her at all them places that she just mentioned.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, you're getting that W, not none of this humble shit. You got to get that W this weekend.
Right? Oh, I'm going to get it.
Hey, man, we're getting W's all the way around here. Also, before we let you get out of here, check out that link corner, and shout out to Sunday's guest, Adrian the Eagle Harjbeej, as he gets ready to go to war for LFA 89 on UFC Fight Pass this Friday. Check him out. And until next time, and in the in-between time, stay safe. Peace. We good, Dave? Yep, I take that's a yes. Hey, I appreciate it, Miranda. Like I said, it was a good time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's fun. I like these interviews where you could just, like, let loose and stuff. So it's great.
Hey, we're not ever trying to be too, up and up like that and overdoing it or none of that kind of deal. So, like I said, it's a good time. We're definitely going to have to bring you back. Like I said, I'm going to post it on YouTube. I'll have it on YouTube probably tomorrow morning. I always do the live feed first and give it a little bit of time to let it go. And then I'll post it and tag you and all the stuff for tomorrow. But I'll definitely have to get you one of them shirts. Text me where to send it, and I'll get you one once it comes out.
Absolutely. Yes, that'd be great. I'll rock it. I'll put it on Instagram and, all your info so people keep watching and stuff. So
hey, we appreciate it. Like I said, man, I'm a big fan of your dad's. And like I said, from what I've seen of your stuff as well, like I said, as soon as I saw it, I told Kyle, I was like, yo, we got to run with this. So hopefully you had a good time and it's not as uptight as what you're used to on all these other interviews. So I figured we still covered all the shit people wanted to hear anyways.
Right. That's what's important. Yeah, no, I totally appreciate it. I had a good time. So thank you so much.
Hell yeah. Like I said, I got your number. Stay in touch. If you come down to Detroit, like I said, shoot me a line.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. We'll actually go get a shot. We'll go get a
I am with that shit. Let's do it. All right.
Cool.
Later.
Thank you. Bye.
You wrapped?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.